Good morning, everyone. I hope all are fine and in good health. First, I would like to introduce myself. I am Carl Adam M. Giao and I will be your tutor for today. This morning, I will educate you about a certain topic that may interest you a lot. It is about weathering and its agent. I am sure you will like this topic because this is very interesting and very informative. So guys, just sit back, listen, and learn. My topic for today is about weathering. To give you an overview, weathering describes the breaking down or dissolving of rocks and minerals on the surface of the earth. Can anyone here give an example of an agent of weathering? If someone answers water, good job, because you are correct. Water is one good example of a weathering agent. Other weathering agents are ice, acids, salt, plants, animals, and changes in temperature. There are also three types of weathering. Can anyone from this class give me at least one type of weathering? If someone answered physical, good job, because that is correct. Physical is one of the three types of weathering, and the other two is chemical and biological. Weathering is a natural process that slowly breaks apart or changes rock. Heat, water, wind, living things, and other natural forces cause weathering. Over many years, weathering can shape rock into unusual formations. Thus, weathering is a fundamental Earth process. Again, there are three types of weathering, and these are chemical weathering, physical weathering, and biological weathering. Again, there are three types of weathering, and these are chemical weathering, physical weathering, and biological weathering. And now, I will share to you some significant information about chemical weathering. Be sure that you will listen and understand my presentation because I also prepared a short quiz after our discussion. So without further ado, let us now dive in with chemical weathering. Chemical weathering is a chemical process that breaks down minerals. It involves the transformation of the original minerals into new minerals that are stable at surface conditions. It also involves putting minerals compound into solution. For example, dissolution of water. As we all know, water is very vital and considered as one of our basic needs. The same thing with chemical weathering. Water is the most important agent in the three different processes of chemical weathering, which are dissolution, oxidation, and hydrolysis. There are also two other important agents of chemical weathering, and they are carbon dioxide and oxygen. Now, let us define the different processes of chemical weathering. The first process is called dissolution. Dissolution is a process where a solid dissolves into a solvent such as water, forming a solution. Next, we have oxidation. Oxidation is a chemical process that is responsible for rust forming from iron. And lastly, we have hydrolysis. Hydrolysis is a chemical reaction involving the breaking down of a bond in a molecule using water. The next topic that I will share with you is about physical weathering, and there are four physical processes that lead to physical weathering. The first one is called frost wedging. Frost wedging is caused by repeated cycles of freezing and thawing. The next one is called unloading. Unloading is a geologic process that where overlying rocks at the surfaces are removed. The third one is called thermal expansion. As a weathering process occurs, where daily thermal expansion and contraction of individual minerals can exert destructive forces on the cohesion of rock. And lastly, we have biological activity. Biological activity can cause rock to be broken into smaller pieces. The next topic that I will be discussing is called biological weathering. Biological weathering can also be called as organic weathering. Here are some of the important things that we should know about biological weathering. The main agents of biological weathering are animals, insects, plants, and man. Biological weathering can be both physical and chemical. Both physical disintegration and chemical decomposition are involved in this weathering process. And now that we are done with the three types of weathering, let us now differentiate weathering from erosion. Erosion and weathering are the processes in which the rocks are broken down into fine particles. Erosion is the process in which rocks particles are carried away by the wind and water. Weathering, on the other hand, degrades the rocks without displacing them. I am happy that somehow I was able to discuss and share to you some of my ideas and facts about weathering. I hope that you learned a lot and enjoyed my presentation. Now, I will present a much more interesting topic, and this is all about applications of weathering in real life situations. Since weathering is the initial stage in the soil formation, the first real-life application is that it breaks down the initial rock mass into smaller fragments, thus preparing the rock material for the formation of the soil. It is also interesting to note that weathering produces other natural resources such as clay, which is used for making bricks. As we all know, clay is used in making bricks. Since weathering is the initial stage in the soil formation, the first real-life application is that it breaks down the initial rock mass into smaller fragments, thus preparing the rock material for the formation of the soil. It is also interesting to note that weathering produces other natural resources such as clay, which is used for making bricks. As we all know, clay is used in making bricks. Another significance of weathering is that weathering weakens rock, making them easier for people to exploit. Examples of soil exploitation are mining and quarrying. Also, weathering is significant in our daily lives because it prepares the land on which the agents of erosion and transportation act. These agents then modify the original landforms, which in turn influence the kind of human activities which can be undertaken in such regions. Some weathered rocks, like the granitic tors, are very fascinating that it acts as tourist attraction. So now, as I have mentioned a while ago, after my lecture, I will give a short quiz on weathering to determine if you were able to grasp or understand what I have discussed. So, what are you waiting for? Let's now start. Question number 1. What is the breakdown of rock material in its current location? Is it letter A, erosion, B, weathering, C, transportation, or D, deposition? If your answer is B, you are correct because weathering is the breakdown of rock material in its current location. Question number 2. What is the process by which rock fragments are moved by natural forces? Is it letter A, in situ, B, deposition, C, erosion, or D, weathering? If your answer is C, you are correct because erosion is the process by which rock fragments are moved by natural forces. Question number 3. Which one of these things is not an agent of weathering? A, glacier, B, precipitation, C, river, or D, soil? If your answer is D, you are correct because soil is not one of the things that is considered as an agent of weathering. Question number 4. Which one of these processes is not a chemical weathering process? Is it letter A, carbonation, B, oxidation, C, frost shattering, or D, hydration? If your answer is C, you are correct. Frost shattering is the process that is not considered as a chemical weathering process. And lastly, we have question number 5. What is the name given to the group of weathering processes associated with the action of organisms? Is it A, the root action, B, the action of burrowing animals, C, chemical weathering, or D, biological weathering? If your answer is D, you are correct. Biological weathering is the name given to the group of weathering processes associated with the action of organisms. Finally, we have come to the last part of our tutorial in science with the topic of agents of weathering. I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed our discussion. Thank you for being cooperative and attentive. I hope to see you all again. Just continue to learn, discover, and explore. And remember, in learning, you only have two choices. Yes or yes. Bye!